Let's see what's going on today. Good morning, YouTube. Good to have you along here this morning. You can skip ahead to 10, 11 minutes before we start the actual program if you're watching this as a replay. If not, then you're just going to sit and listen to me. Waste some time getting set up. All that good stuff. Hopefully all is good in your world today. What else is going on here? No fires this week. That was good. Morning, Waylon. Good to see you this morning. What else here? I don't think my typing has gotten any faster since high school. Not at all. Morning, Wayne. Hope all was good at the concert. Let's get this day rolling, huh? Let's call up Mr. Ness and see what he's got to say. Oops. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Mr. Ness, how are you, sir?
I'm good here. I ain't been connected to my ear though.
Yeah, you sound like you're in a tunnel.
There you go.
What was that?
How are you?
I'm good. You still sound a little bit echoey there.
Can you hear me now?
There you are. Loud and proud.
So give me the lowdown on what's going on out your direction. You got anything growing?
Oh, it's, I guess there's people that are worse off. I guess a guy can always.
Because we keep hearing that you guys got all the moisture.
No,
Not true.
not quite. No, not really. So
I just don't think it. Went to over to Fergus Falls, and first you get over there and things look plush. But
yeah,
I've been north, I've been south, I just from a wildlife standpoint, I'm worried there's freaking devastation out there.
yeah. I don't know how. Kind of, it isn't as bad out here, I guess, as it could be. But I mean, it's the Badlands. It's never great.
Yeah.
The pronghorn. There's a lot of those around, but in my area, I'm not seeing the kids like you used. I don't know if coyotes got them or what, but there's one group that's hanging out along our side of our road up here, just a mile away. There's probably 11 or 12 does in there, and only 2 kids out of that whole bunch. And I've been seeing that quite a bit around this area. There's just I don't think. And here's my take on it: is there never has been a lot of antelope bucks out here, and if anybody shoots something, they always go for the buck. They never take a doe.
Yeah.
And if I'd only have one bull for my entire cow herd, I'd have a lot of open cows too. So
Interesting.
that's kind of my take on it a little bit. You hardly ever see any bucks out this way. So I guess it is what it is.
I'm wondering if we could get anybody to call in on reports today on like little pheasant hatches, and I'm hearing some reports that hens and roosters are together, which is a really bad sign.
I've only seen one little clutch of birds swathing some forage wheat down. And they were tiny. I mean, they were just freshly hatched. I think that was like a late one. They would have to be. I mean, the grouse look pretty good this year. But yeah, we can throw it out there. Hopefully somebody call in.
Yeah. So what do you got in the second half today?
Fishing report from South Dakota.
Well, we've got our Cookfest events this week. We've got our fishing derby. We've got all the proceeds of that go to outdoor and conservation. We got a habitat project scheduled for early September south of Medora on the Kim Shade. Is he a little bit north of you there?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Kim.
Yeah.
I saw him at Runnings last year during the COVID thing. Parked out. It was 2 years. Can't remember anyway. He was out in the parking lot, and I come walking by, headed in there, and he honks his horn. And always good to sit and talk with him a little bit.
Is he a decent guy?
Always has been decent to me. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yep. In fact, I think.
Yeah, he's got a old Continental oil field in there, and then I think he's got that stuff in plot. So there's a juniper removal project in there that juniper gets so bad. We can talk a little bit about that. Should get us through the half hour, I would guess. So.
Yeah. We're here to see pheasant chicks and does are running around with single fawns. Haven't seen set of twins yet. So somebody's listening out there.
Well, good.
Text me. Yeah. Well, what do we got here time-wise? 7:03, 3 minutes.
How about any horn growth on the
little bit
on the deer?
I haven't seen her. I've seen total in the last 30 days a handful of mule deer bucks. A couple that are growing nicely, some that are yearlings, and probably 2 whitetails is all I've seen. And I don't know if they're just in hiding right now because the creeks and the canyons are pretty leaved out, so it's a little harder to see them, and it's been so darn hot. But hopefully there's more deer than what I'm seeing. I guess fixing fence and going.
I kind of had the same thing. It's been more like early May. I was out this morning with my dogs, and it feels like a mid-May morning today. The grass is wet and dewy, and it feels like it's growing. And in the same way it's been for deer. I think they just I don't know. The grass isn't rich enough where they're not coming up into the it's not very high. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Then you talk to these old farmers and ranchers out here, and they say that the dry grass has more protein in it than the lush wet stuff. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to kind of see. He was driving this morning. Crack an egg. Okay. Well, we got busy texters going on already this morning. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Got another. Here, I'll text you this. What date? July 3rd to 31st. Carton Marshall has a project south of Carson, and he's looking for volunteers who want to help on a habitat project. So,
got it. Seems like antler growth is a bit slow, and not seeing a lot of big bucks either. Yeah.
Well, I would think so, and I just don't know what There's early soybeans would be. I don't know. I would think that would have a significant impact.
Yeah.
Other years it's been down, but this is like it's going to be interesting.
Maybe this second half of this summer we'll go here. We got 20 seconds. Stand by, Ron. Stand by. 15-second stations on mark. 15 seconds. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. There it is. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Good to have you along here, and thanks for joining me live all across these great radio stations, all across the Dakota Territory. KGFX in Pierre, KOLY in Mobridge, K Fire 550 in Bismarck, Mandan, KLTC in Dickinson, and KCJB in the Minot area, and all around the world on my YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Please subscribe. I appreciate that very much here. The today's show brought to you by many great folks and sponsors, including the North Dakota Petroleum Council, which I'm going to be speaking with Ron Ness here shortly, and also Action Motorsports on the Strip in Mandan. Make sure if you're looking for any kind of ATV or UTV, especially this summer, maybe an Indian motorcycle, you can always stop in at Action Motorsports, talk to any one of the great sales staff there. And if you're looking to accessorizing your ride, you can do that as well. And just check it out. Action Motorsports on the Strip in Mandan. Ron Ness from the North Dakota Petroleum Council. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Scotty. I did the math this morning, about 50 days to the deer archery opener, and doesn't really feel like this morning. It felt like a early May morning out at my place. Just kind of curious what everybody's seeing out there and thinking about the fall, because it's going to be here, and I'm certainly not ready.
Well, I am and I'm not. It seems like the summer's been like just thrown upon us here with all these 90-degree days early in June. And right now, it's nice to have a little break from that. But like you said, if people want to call in and tell us what they're seeing, and you said whether it's deer or birds, 888-932-5682. That's 888-932-5682. And when you call in, it automatically goes to hold, and then I'll get to your call as soon as you can. Or you can text me, 701-425-6651. And what's happening in the world of energy before we start talking deer here and birds and everything else? What's happening in the world of oil prices and all that good stuff?
Well, certainly your gas prices are going up, Scott.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
world oil prices are in that $72 to $75 range. They seem to be somewhat settling in there. World travel is I think just about going to surge. We've certainly seen U.S. travel surge, and in the meantime, we're deciding that we're going to shut down production, or we're going to shut down pipelines, and it seems like there's a big hold on a ramp up of activity, and we've certainly seen that in the Bakken in North Dakota. We're still pretty flat at about 20 drilling rigs. That's the drilling rig is what drills a new well, and the technology in the wells are fantastic, but we just can't seem to really kickstart the investment level above that. And I think there's just a lot of trepidation about what's happening out there. And of course, 2020 was a tough year, so companies were struggling for survival. So you're trying to get back on your economic feet before you jump back in. But we're still doing pretty well in North Dakota, 1.1 million barrels a day. And if you want to learn more, this is the big week, Scott. We're bringing a Cook Fest to Western North Dakota on Tuesday in Arnagard, North Dakota, at 2 to 4. We will have the Bakken education session, and from 4 to 7, we got the Bakken Cook Fest with live music and activities, free, open to the public. Anybody that wants to come to Arnagard, it's going to be. I suspect Arnagard is going to be a pretty full town at the city park there. We can get anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 people at some of these Cook Fest events. And let's see, free barbecue, food, giveaways, live music, education session. Come as you want, and absolutely no charge, no alcohol. It's just a day to give back to the community in and around Arnagard, and people come from far and wide. And then Thursday, we'll do the same thing in Mohall at the Mohall City Park. 2 o'clock education session, 2 to 4 education session up there, 4 to 7 barbecue in Mohall. And the day that I think is really exciting, Scott, is the day in between. We do the Bakken Classic Walleye Derby out of the Newtown Casino. This year we've got 60 teams, it looks like, so 180 fishermen. and all of the proceeds go to conservation and wildlife projects. Specifically, we've got a couple of Mule Deer Foundation projects that we're going to be supporting and helping with this summer and fall, and we'd like to discuss that. We need some volunteers for one of those projects, July 31st, south of Carson, North Dakota. And then we've got another one that it's going to be kind of an oil and gas industry, a give back day to a ranch just a little bit north of you that in south of Medora. There's a lot of that juniper that grows across the landscape. Scott, you can describe this as good as anybody, but it's like what grows underneath a big old tree, nothing, right? So you've got to clear that juniper off those side hills, and we're going to go in there and tear out that juniper and give that habitat a fresh start. So you can contact Marshall at muledeer.org. Marshall Johnson with the North Dakota Mule Deer Foundation. So good project, Scott. Lots going on.
Yeah. Well, in that Carson area, Gunnapalooza the night before that July 31st. So not only can you help pull some woven wire, but you can go in and have a chance of winning a gun too.
Well, Marshall is a hard-working guy with the Mule Deer Foundation, and these Gunnapaloozas, I think he really started them before COVID. But basically, you dash in, you gamble on a whole bunch of guns, and you have a beverage or two, and you're out the door. And you can buy tickets on boards. You can do whatever you want, and they're kind of fast, fun events. And they're taking off not only across North Dakota now, but really across the country. And I think Marshall Johnson was the inventor and the creator, and just works really, really hard. So, but I am interested to hear from the listeners out there what they're seeing for pheasant clutches and horn growth on deer, because I'm pretty worried about the pheasant population. The drought is tough.
Well, before that, I got a message. It says, ask Ron, why are the pipelines, or why are they trying to get the pipelines shut down when it's a safer way of transporting what we have for energy?
Well, that is just an absolutely fantastic question. Thanks, whomever, for asking it. Is, what I think they came to these obstructionists and anti-fossil fuels folks came to the conclusion prior to DAPL that they are not going to be successful in states like North Dakota and Texas and Wyoming and places where oil and gas is produced, because people understand the value, the importance of the economy, the jobs, the mineral owners, the landowners, the communities. So they've kind of chosen to pick areas and spots where they can inject themselves somewhere, and maybe whether it be in a state that's not going to be an energy producer, more of an energy consumer, and they think that if they can stop the flow of oil, that they will ultimately hurt the ability to produce oil. I think they're going to drive up energy prices, and I think those folks are good with that. I think they think that makes renewables more competitive. At the end of the day, we need it all, and those of us who drive and hunt and fish a lot need to keep an eye on this stuff, because I don't know about you, but I don't really like $4 to $5 gasoline. And what we've done in North Dakota and the Bakken, of course, I think was the big move in the world that really put us back in an energy supply situation and reduced our gasoline and diesel prices. But I don't think these folks care so much about that.
I agree here, Ron. Up against our first break here as we go into, if you have questions, comments, tell us what you've seen out there for wildlife. 888-932-5682. That's 888-932-5682 or 888-9-DAKOTA. You can also text what you've been seeing out that way here, and we can start a conversation. 701-425-6651. We'll be back right after these messages.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at dakotacommunitybank.com. That's dakotacommunitybank.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Piper's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Piper's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Savvy. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit DakotaCommunityBank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition continues on here on a beautiful Saturday morning. Live all across the Dakota Territory on KGFX and Pierre, KOLY in Mobridge, K-Fire in Bismarck, KLTC Dickinson and KCJB in Minot, and around the world on my YouTube channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio. Ron Ness from the North Dakota Petroleum Council is my guest here for the first half hour, and Ron, on the phone here during the break, you and I were just discussing a few things, and I got a text message that says, we're asking people to call in and tell us what they're seeing for pheasant. Bird numbers. I told you, we don't have many pheasant up in this area, but the grouse numbers look really nice. But I did drive south of Scranton last Saturday and helped with kind of a late branding, and went by the old barn that you usually stay at down there, and I'm telling you right now, the food plots are looking a lot better in that Scranton area than they would up over as you get further west here. It's pretty dry, but down there it looks all right. I think old Szynski's going to have some pretty good food plots for you guys to hunt this year.
Well, I'm sitting here with 2 hunting dogs, Scott. You think that makes me happy? They are really happy. I had heard they had a little early shot of rain down there, and things were looking a little better. So I was hoping that was the case at your place. I also want to throw a note out. We all got a note from the North Dakota Game and Fish. If you're an archery hunter and you want to have a tag in your hand when you go hunting on that first day, you need to buy your tag so they can get it mailed out to you. So, and I haven't seen when the pronghorn application deadline is, or has it been announced yet?
Not yet, because they just got done doing the survey, the flyovers for the pronghorn. And usually comes out, I'm guessing here it'll be here at the end of the month or so, like that, or pretty close, once they get the numbers tallied up. So, but yeah, text comes in. It says it's rare to see pheasant chicks, and does are now running around with single fawns. Haven't seen a set of twins yet. And I've seen a handful of does that had twins up this way with mule deer. I actually have a video on my Facebook page of a couple does here, or at least one of them that has twins. And what have you been seeing? What in that lush area, that flasher area?
Well, it's been extreme dry in that south of Mandan to Flasher area, and we just I've seen a lot of roosters on the road early, and there were a lot of hens. And last weekend I saw some roosters with hens on the road, which is really, really scary. That means that the hen thinks that she wants to try to have another hatch, and at this point in the game, that it's getting pretty late for that. So I'm gonna head out here after I'm done talking on the radio with some guy. So we'll see. But I haven't seen a batch of small pheasants yet, so I'm pretty worried. But
yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see what the listeners. If you guys have seen some pheasant out there and some hatches, let us know. 888-932-5682. Also, a message comes in here from Wayne. He said, seems like antler growth is a bit slow this year. Not seeing a lot of big bucks, and I agree with that. It's the handful of bucks that I've seen mule deer out here. 2 of them, it looks like they're going to be pretty decent, nice little deer. The rest are smaller, and it seems like they're, 4 weeks behind compared to last year. It seems like.
Scott, I would, I always say some years when it's kind of dry, the antler growth is really good, but this is we are way beyond that this year. There's just so very little forage for them to eat. I don't know. I just haven't seen the deer numbers either. Of course, we had really bad EHD last fall, and I think it was probably much worse. And we had a lot of second year deer. Those big does, we found a lot of those piled up along the waterways. So I don't know. The fishing's really good on the lake right now.
That's what I hear. A text message comes in and says, have a feeling that it's going to be another EHD year this year with the stagnant water that's being around. And I agree with that. A lot of the dugouts and dams, if there's not fresh water flowing, and there's not much water flowing in this area anyway, but there might be another little midge and a bug that might create that again this year, which is unfortunate. But yeah, have you been fishing? You got the big fishing tournament. Get this, Ron. The 23rd and 24th of July, I am doing the Dakota Walleye Classic Fishing Tournament for the first time. So there you go.
Well, it should be really good. I fished last weekend up at the lake, up on the east end of the lake, and it was really good. And I think the fishing out west, there's a lot of folks out pre-fishing for our tournament today.
Yeah.
And I think the fishing out west really picked up in the last 2 weeks. So I suspect, funny though, you always seem to get a storm or something that comes through the night before our big derby. And we've got, like I said, this year we got 180 fishermen, and Just seems like the day before, the day after are really good, but the day when everybody's out there, it's for some reason everybody catches fish, of course, but you always think they're going to have those super big stringers, and but it's been a great deal, and the fact that all those proceeds go to projects like we're talking about with the Mule Deer Foundation. We bought the on the water fishing guys a big trailer. They take veterans, disabled veterans fishing, and we've just been able to do a lot of things. We've bought a tree planter and a fabric machine that we Pheasants Forever and others share. So that's helped us plant I think we're up to 130,000 trees now with our Petroleum Council Foundation tree planting program, Planting for the Future. We are looking for landowner sign-ups for 2022. So got a lot of things going on, and all of a sudden July gets really, really busy, Scott, with all these events. But it's fun to get out. It's fun to see people, and like I think you said earlier, maybe May is coming in July this year, and we'll have a little more moisture here, and we'll pick up some habitat and pick up some crop growth for everybody and some grass for your cattle.
Yeah, we can always hope. Got a couple text messages, one on YouTube here. The first one from Jim Sabby. Running around, he travels a lot of miles here. He says, good pheasant numbers in the Robinson area. He said Steele and Napoleon as well. Crosby area is good also. Best is still Scranton, Reeder, and New England area is where he's seen the pheasant. But on the YouTube side, and I'm not sure where this guy's from here, he says not many young birds in the central area. Really dry, no bugs for feed. And that really surprises me with the amount of grasshoppers, but that we have in the western side. And I know eastern Montana's loaded with grasshoppers too. So kind of you get both ends of the spectrum here talking to us here about the numbers right now, Ron.
Well, our old buddy Jim Sabby knows pheasants, doesn't he?
He does.
That's a good report. Hi, Jim. And those little bug growth, though, that when those chicks are born, they absolutely have to have, the insects and the bugs that they get fed, and that moisture important on the eggs a little bit. So just the right amount. It's a very delicate resource, and it's pretty amazing. I never thought that, worse than a hard winter would be a really dry summer and spring. And we proved that a few years ago. We wiped the pheasants out in Mott and Regent, and they survived a lot of pretty tough winters. So it's a pretty delicate resource, and we got to do what we can to provide them the habitat. But looking at these hunting dogs here, I sure hope they're out there.
They're ready to go, aren't they? They're like, when this pheasant season open, man, let's go. Let's get this game on. And that's fun watching them work, too. They're a lot of fun. A minute to go, 60 seconds. What do you got going on? People have questions, comments, or any projects they would like to get a hold of you. How do they do that?
Get a hold of, if you want to help with a outdoor habitat project south of Carson or south of Medora, get a hold of Marshall Johnson with the Mule Deer Foundation. Cookfest, Petroleum Council Cookfest in Arnagard on Tuesday. Cookfest in Mohall, North Dakota on Thursday. Everybody welcome. Great event. Public education session. So it'll start at 2. Cooking and music and the fun starts from 4 to 7.
And the fishing tournament?
Fishing tournament is Wednesday, and 60 teams. It'll be good, and we'll get you an update for next week's show.
That'd be great. Yeah, give me the list of the winners on that, or the top 10. I appreciate it. Ron, always a pleasure. Thanks for making time for me here this month, and we'll catch you again later.
Thanks, Scott. Have a great Saturday.
You bet. Thanks. Ron Ness from the North Dakota Petroleum Council. On the second half of the program coming up, we head down to South Dakota to get a fishing update in that Black Hills area with Mr. Kevin Vaughn. He's on the water, and we'll see if he has the service to be able to take a call and see if he can actually guide fishing at the same time he's talking on the radio. Hopefully they can catch a South Dakota Whopper Club one as we're live right there. More on the way. 888-932-5682 is the number if you'd like to call and join in. If you want to text me, it's 701-425-6651. We'll be back with more Dakota Prairie Outdoors after these.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been your locally owned hometown bank, an honor we take great pride in. And our customer satisfaction has always been our most important goal. We've gone along with the communities we serve and will continue to do so with our pledge of modern banking convenience with old-fashioned hometown service. From remote deposit options to online mortgage applications, we are happy to serve you wherever you are. Learn more at dakotacommunitybank.com. That's dakotacommunitybank.com.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Mo Rest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Piper's Western team of Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby would like to invite you to sit down and talk about the future of land planning. Whether you're looking at selling, buying, or options to hand it down to the next generation, Andy and Jim will lay out all of the options for you. It's a great time to buy or sell, and with interest rates to make it profitable. Piper's Western team, Andy Murdoch and Jim Sabby. For more information or land updates, go to pifers.com. Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit dakotacommunitybank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition, live and local, all around the Dakota territory here. KGFX and Pierre, KOLY in Mobridge, K-Fire in Bismarck, Mandan, KLTC in Dickinson, and KCJB in Minot. Kevin Vaughn with Wild Walleye Outfitters. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, Scott. How about yourself?
Well, not as good as you because you're actually on the water fishing right now. So, I mean, how nice would that be?
Yeah, it's a pretty tough thing to beat.
So where are you fishing today?
We are fishing down at Angostura Reservoir near Hot Springs, South Dakota.
How's everything down that way? And you're doing this with some of your family and teaching some kids how to catch some walleye, but how's the fishing down that way?
So far, it's been pretty good. We've caught a little bit of everything this morning. We've killed over a couple dozen worms so far, so I call it pretty successful.
Yeah. Well, how's the water levels down that direction? I know they've had a little bit more moisture in that area, though, than we've seen up in the North Dakota side.
Yeah, it's down a little bit.
It is.
I'm not sure what it normally is. I'm just kind of looking at the high water mark here, and I'd guess it's probably down, a good 4 feet at least,
Wow.
I'd say. But, yeah, we had a big rainstorm come through last night, and I'm not sure exactly how much rain we got, but we did get a pretty good shot of rain yesterday and a little the day before. So things are a little greener down here than they are up in your neck of the woods.
My buddy took the bottom unit out of his boat the other day and on Lake Sakakawea with, taking the same path that he's always taken year after year. And that's how low that lake has dropped down here a little bit. So kind of a spendy little adventure.
Yeah, that's not cheap.
So what's been happening? Let's talk fishing here. What are you using for walleye rigs here? I mean, you said you've been catching perch and bluegills and drums and everything else here. What are you using here to help these kids get the proper experience fishing?
Right now we are running 3/4 ounce bottom bouncers with about a 5-foot lead, and then we're running orange spinners with a yellow stripe down the middle, and then just one red bead, 3 green beads with a hook, and about half a night crawler.
Are those the colors that have been working good for you? I know a lot of people switch up. I mean, it's all about different colors and presentation. But the guy that Jesse, that he said, yeah, it was super fun losing my lower unit. He's listening to this show this morning too. But I mean, do you change up your presentation with different colors quite a bit, or very often? I mean, how long do you go with one rig setup with colors until you change it out and try something different?
Just until it quits working. This year, the yellow and orange have just been hot all spring, and it's still producing good numbers of fish for us. Even with these warmer water temperatures, we've been moving out, getting out a little deeper. This morning, we're fishing about anywhere between 20 and 25 feet here, kind of working back and forth up here. Up on Orman, where we normally run the guide service at, we've moved out to about 15 to 17 foot of water, trying to stay right in about that 16.5 foot, and about 1 mile an hour, and it's really just been pretty successful for us with getting some overs, getting a few unders, lots and lots of slot fish. It's just been working pretty good. Heck, the other day we even picked up about a 6-pound catfish. So
nice.
Yeah, even the catfish are liking that orange with the yellow stripe in it right now.
Yeah, I tell you right now that I've been hearing different temperatures. What's the water temperature that you have right now and down in that Hot Springs area?
Right now we're looking at 76.3 degrees.
So that's quite a bit. I wonder what Lake Sakakawea. Jesse, let me know what Lake Sakakawea is. Text me that or call in 888-932-5682. And my old Brit at Action Motorsports, every single weekend I have my show. I took last weekend off. I don't take many holidays off, Kevin, but Independence Day is one of those weekends I like to take off. I enjoy that holiday quite a bit. So, but anyway, he asked, he said, did you noodle that catfish? He's into this
No.
He's into noodling. He wants to noodle a catfish. Could you help him out with that?
I can sit in the boat and watch him if he wants to go stick his hands in dark, deep holes. That's not for me. I like my fingers.
Well, it looks like Jesse's calling in here. Let's talk a little water temperature. Morning, Jesse. Did you get your lower unit fixed?
Morning.
Are we ready to go?
No, I haven't. Just like everything else, the last year and a half between parts availability and help and 4th of July vacations, and I can't even get it anywhere until the 19th.
All right. Well, our fishing boat is still operational before our tournament coming up, though.
It is. It is.
Okay. No, Kevin's fishing anywhere out in that 20 to 25 foot range. What are you seeing up on the big water?
Well, up here we've got such a wide variety of depth and structure, and I'm seeing guys still go down at 6-8 feet when the weather changes. Guys pulling lindies in that 8 to 22, and then guys out at that 18 to 25 or messing with jigging wraps. And I haven't really seen a lot of people cranking, but depends on the day and depends on the wind and the temperature. Everybody's having some success a number of different ways up here.
Kevin, do you guys pull cranks down there quite often when you're out there guiding?
Sometimes, it's like Jesse's saying there. Just depends on the day and the weather, what we have kind of for cloud cover. It seems like, get them overcast days, especially after a big rain or a lot of that lightning and thunder, pulling them cranks seems to work a lot better. You can kind of cover a lot more territory. I find that a lot of times after a big lightning and thunderstorm, them fish tend to kind of scatter, and you're not finding schools, and you're just finding kind of ones and twos here's and there, and get up to about that 2.5 mile range. You can cover a lot of water and bring it in there. I try and run the boat roughly about 14 feet, but I run a couple planer boards out that I clip my lines to so I can get the baits out kind of away from the boat there, and run a couple shallower and a couple out deeper, and that way we can cover more water, and that seems to work a lot better than pulling lindies. But on these kind of calmer mornings and a little bit of chop, then we tend to pull a lot more lindy rigs, whether it be actually pulling them or just kind of drifting them. We have a lot more success with that.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, do you have any tips and technique questions you got for Kevin since our tournament's in a couple weeks here?
Yeah, no, big question I've got for him down there, and like I said, it's a total different lake type, but I've seen, we're out the other night and South Shore was about 63, 64 degrees, and North Shore was pushing 70. Wind was out of the south. And then, if the wind switches, it pushes all the surface warm water. It'll be opposite. North Shore will be mid to low 60s, and South Shore will warm up over 70. I'm just wondering, Kevin, what you think as far as surface temp, and if that affects where the fish are at, because I'm guessing down 10, 12 feet, you don't have that variation in temperature. I'm not sure. What do you think of that?
I'd say it would affect them a little bit. Your more active feeding fish are typically going to be in that warmer water. At least that's when I start fishing. That's kind of what I look for. Especially early spring, that affects that bite a lot more than fish are looking for even that 1 degree warmer water. Late summer, when you start talking over 60, 70 degree water temp, surface temps, that's when I start, fishing. That 16 foot of water, looking for them there, 15, 16 foot of water. Because then I think they're pushing out there a little bit deeper, trying to kind of get out of them shallows. But then, afternoon, it seems to me even even them fish that are starting out deep in the morning, once that sun comes up, it seems like a lot of times if you can find a weed bed or some rushes or something, a slip bobber with a floating jig head and a leech, and get it in them weeds, it seems like a lot of times them fish go for that shade over even that deeper water.
Kind of like a deer bedding down in the brush.
Yep, and that's there you go. You want to grab the net?
Oh, yep. Fish on.
Oh, he just lost it.
Oh.
I had that happen a lot the other night. I was rusty.
But yeah, especially, getting closer to that mid-afternoon, I like to find, we got the channel up there at Ormond, and it's got a big weed bed by it. And I like to tie on some floating jig heads with slip bobbers and maybe, just a 16th ounce split shot, or maybe even a little smaller than that. And just kind of pitch it, find a hole in them weeds and pitch it in there. And we've had a lot of success with that too in the past and this summer so far. Once them fish kind of shut off of that main bite pole at Lindy's, get up in them weeds, pitch some slip bobbers in there, and just let them leeches kind of sit. Or, some days it's a half a crawler, but yeah, get right up in that shade, right up shallow. I'm talking 3 to 4 foot of water, and
okay,
just kind of sit back and wait. And a lot of times, them fish are just sitting up in them weeds, and bait fish are kind of huddled up in that shade, and we've had pretty good success with that.
Okay.
Might have to try that,
All
Jesse.
right, well, thanks for the.
Yeah, we might have to give that a shot here when we got there. Well, appreciate calling in, man.
Yep. Thanks, guys. You bet.
You bet. Thanks a lot. So, when it comes to fishing Ormond versus the further south in the Hot Springs area, what are you learning something a little bit different? You're not usually on that lake. What are you trying differently, Kevin?
I'm not really trying much different than what I fish up at Ormond right now. About the only thing different is we're a little bit deeper out here. We're just, right now covering some water, looking for fish. See, after that big storm last night, we're, just moving along about 1 mile an hour here, pulling our Lindy's with our night crawlers, looking for schools of fish to kind of try and target, maybe find some structure down here. That way later we can come back and try some vertical jigging over some structure with jigging wraps. And then I've really gotten into them ripping wraps this year. A good buddy of mine, Peter Schmidt, he typically fishes lake trout, but early this spring we got together and we're fishing some walleye, and he kind of introduced me to these ripping wraps and vertical jigging, and even pitching them shallow and popping them back just like you would a jig in a minnow. But I've really kind of got right up front here. I've really gotten into them this spring, and I'm really loving the success I've been having off of them.
Did you get it? Did you get this one?
He's hooked up.
He's hooked up. See, this is the fun part. It's live when we're doing this because your attention goes. No, come on now. It's not saying much being a walleye outfitter. That's what 3 bites here in the last 15 minutes. So you're finding them, but we got to get one in the boat while we're on the air yet. So we only have 5 more minutes for you to do this.
Well, if you'd have called 6 minutes earlier, I just picking one up the first time you tried to call.
That's why you weren't answering. You had one hooked up. So what's the limit on the lake you're on right now? Is it still the same? They have a slot limit there too?
They do not have a slot limit here. Here it is. I guess they got a minimum here.
Okay.
We can't keep anything under 15 inches.
Okay.
And then we can keep one over 20.
Okay. Yeah, guys, a person doesn't realize when you fish South Dakota, there's some of those lakes really have some different rules and regulations you got to check into before you go start fishing them.
Yep, and you really gotta know what they are, because even though most of the most of the lakes here in South Dakota are that 15-inch minimum with 4 fish, one being over 20. You just really gotta. There's one. Okay.
We hooked up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got one on here with you.
All right. Well, walk us through here. This is all you, man. This is you saying how good of a walleye outfitter you are here. This is advertising for you right now.
There's a nice walleye in the boat.
People are going to want to know. They're going to see. It's hard to explain this on radio, but what is it? What do you got? 3-pounder?
Oh, we got a. Oh, I don't know. I don't think he's going to quite pull 3 pounds, but he might be 2.5.
Is it you're over 20 right there?
No, it's going to be about. Looking at him, I'm guessing he's probably about 17. Oh, there's another one. There you go. Nice and steady. That's a nice fish.
Nice.
Lift your rod tip up. Lift your rod tip up. There you go. Lift your rod tip up. There. All right. Good job. There's another nice one. All right. Bring him in here. Get him put away. All right. Let's see.
Now you got to bait their hooks for them.
Yeah.
How do you find what's the secret to keeping kids interested when the fish aren't biting as bad? What do you usually do then?
Then it gets pretty tough. Then I usually just start telling them stories of fish I've caught.
Okay.
And
that's where the stories come in. Like any good fisherman, they always got the stories, right?
Well, you got to have stories, even if they ain't 100% fact.
I better be politically correct. Anglers, they're not They're not fishermen anymore. It's anglers. I was reprimanded on YouTube pretty hard one day about saying the wrong way there. So got to be politically correct now. So people have questions or comments. They want to get in touch with you since I don't know. You pulled in 2 fish. That's 5 bites and 2 fish in the boat. Sounds like you're doing pretty good. How do they get in touch with Wild Walleye Outfitters?
Well, they can always look us up. We just got a new website up and running at www.wildwalleyeoutfitters.com. They can look us up on Facebook under wildwalleyeoutfitters.com. And they can always call the phone and at 605-519-4286. And I'm always willing to talk about fishing, usually longer than most people are wanting to listen.
I got a text message that says, where about are you on that lake right now? I got somebody listening that wants to head down there and fish. Are you willing to share that location?
Yeah, we're right at right up here at the mouth of the lawn.
Okay. And the name of your boat, do you have a fancy name for it? So like a lot of people name their cabin cruisers.
Well, we just call her Lynn, but it's not written on the boat.
Well, all right.
It's kind of a standing joke between me and my fiance.
I see. And you're going to take her fishing the end of the month too, up in the Pier area. So the folks listening in Pier and KGFX over in that area, make sure to find Kevin, and he comes over at the end of the month that way. And like you said, talk a little fish and have a little fun and enjoy. Kevin, thank you so much. And I appreciate you taking these young kids out and doing what you're doing to keep them interested in the fishing side of things. Thank you so much, man. And have yourself a good weekend.
Thank you, Scott. And you do the same. And we'll see you this fall.
You bet. I'll be coming down that way. You bet. See ya. Kevin Vaughn from Wild Walleye Outfitters, wildwalleyeoutfitters.com if you want to go there and check him out. And you can find him on Facebook too. And message him through that way. He's always willing to talk a little bit and give a little bit of advice here and there. So that's always nice to do that. Coming up, let's see here, next week, 2 weeks from now, I'll be reporting from the Big Water, Lake Sakakawea. The 7th Annual Dakota Duel is July 17th and 18th near Little Eagle, South Dakota. 2-person teams. If you want more information, get a hold of the fine folks at Alliance Custom Armory. Have yourself a great weekend. Enjoy and eat some meat, drink some milk. Have a good weekend. All right, stations, thank you so much. Have yourself a great day, YouTube. Same for you. Have a good one, too. Thank you. Time for a wedding.